Hello bros and welcome to SVX0 Bro 5 Production and next part of Sakura Night 2. So let's jump into where we left off. Apparently that's some kind of CPR according to Felicia. Okay. Felicia grips Torch's shoulder with her slender fingers and dips her head. Her long pink hairs, still damp from the hot spring, trails across Torch's body, dripping water against her flushed skin. Torch's lilac hair looks a little frizzy as does her tail. Her cheeks are pink like cotton candy and she's utterly still. The sensation of Felicia's chest against hers isn't enough to make her stir. But when Felicia lifts me Torch, I see her ears quivering. She isn't dead after all, she's still alive. That's something of a relief. But Torch still looks distinctly woebegone. Felicia closes her eyes, her peach-colored lashes matting together as her mouth moves against Torch. It looks a lot like they're kissing, but I know what that isn't the case. This is an important life-saving operation. I don't think Felicia's taking advantage of the situation. She's definitely taking advantage of the situation. Or is she? She is. Felicia's own cheeks are starting to look distinctly flushed. But perhaps that's because of how muggy the air is. That has to be it. There's nothing inappropriate about this. It's not like I care that Felicia's bare skin is all pushed up against Torch, or that her fingers are cupping Torch's cheek. I really don't care at all. Felicia leans in, deepening the kiss. Not that it's a real kiss between her and Torch. Thick streams swirls in the air and the warm water of the spring slaps against their rocky boundaries. I'm starting to feel like lightheaded myself. It really is so warm in here. Yeah, I can't read that. When Felicia first laid Torch upon the rock, she was still and unresponsive. Now, however, some life seems to have returned to the weary cat girl. Torch tips back her head and, sighing softly, opens her mouth to accept Felicia's tongue. Wait a moment. Tongue? Is that a standard part of CPR? In this kind of CPR, apparently. And they're starting to get really into it now. This is not hot and heavy. I can hardly look. I guess they don't much care what Felicia and Torch do together, but they have to do it so very passionately and in broad daylight, no less. I'm too young and innocent to watch such a sight. Felicia finally draws away from Torch, her lips shining with saliva. I would probably have seen if Runemont starts kissing instead. I mean, the more people in an area that kiss, the better. Well, not during Corona though. I can see her tongue protruding from her mouth. Only a few moments ago, that tongue of hers was intertwined with Torch. Hey, Felicia. Torch opens her eyes and looks at Felicia, pouting childishly. Why did you stop? We were just getting to the good part. Oh my, did you enjoy it that much, my dear kitty? I'm glad, but I'm somewhat concerned about you. I would not want to kiss you so thoroughly that you expire from pleasure. That would quite defeat the purpose of this exercise. I'm trying to help you. You helped me a whole bunch already. Your kisses were strong enough to pull me from the realm of the dead. But if you stop now, I might as well let myself die. There's no point in living if I can't make out with a pretty woman at every opportunity. My. Are you trying to threaten me? Maybe. Torch smirks. And what you're gonna do about it? Well, if you want my body so badly, you would die without it. I suppose I ought to continue its I can't read it. Really. That's right. It's for my own good, and I behave myself, so please. Top persons who live together, they're soft and pale pink like a freshly cut peach. Yes. Will you give me my medicine? It will be my pleasure. Felina dips her head once more. She pushes her lips against Tort, and Tort practically melts into the embrace. Their eyes falling shut anew, the two women continue their rather vigorous or healing session. Yeah. Their lips meet over and over again while their tongues coil together. I can't believe this. These two idiots are using Tor's brush with death as an excuse to make out, and so brazenly too. This is degenerate. Ah! I almost jump off full foot into the air, and I'm not the only one. Felicia and Todd both spring apart, eyes enlarged, their expression guilty. But it's too late to play off what happened. They've already been caught in the act. A wasted old man wearing a tattered yukata stands at one side of the hot spring. His wrinkled face reminds me of a little of a prune, and he's missing a few teeth, but he's no less imposing for it. The man is the owner of the hot spring. We come here a few times, so I'm pretty familiar with him. His stern old man also recites a long list of rules to us before lets us step into the hot water. One of this man's rules is, if I remember rightly, there should be no illicit activity in the spring. I told you that countless times. Hot springs exist so people can relax. There are tranquil, peaceful spaces, almost sacred, but you girls, you harlots. You're trampling all over the quiet dignity of this establishment. How dare you? My good sir. Felicia gets her feet dripping with moisture. I fear you are misunderstanding. We were not involved in anything illicit. My dear companion almost drowned, and I was trying to help her. I was performing CPR. That's right. That's right. Without Felicia, I would have died. CPR. The old man narrows his eyes. And since when did CPR involve moaning and sighting like that? Well, that is, I couldn't help it, sir. Felicia was really good at CPR. She had proper lessons being a princess. Oh yes, I was taught very truly, and I always took care to pay attention during my lessons. I was very studious in my youth. That's right. There's nobody more studious than Felicia. The man falls silent. He glances between Todd and Felicia, his arms folded. For a few moments I almost think they gotten away with it, but ha! He snorts dismissively. Don't make me laugh, you idiots. I might be an old man, but I have eyes. I know precisely what you were getting up to. If that lurid display was CPR, then I'm pickled cucumber. Then you're a pickled cucumber. At least it started some strange kind of CPR. You do look kind of like you've been pickled. Silence! I had enough from you. Now get out, all four of you. Huh? Owen stung by injustice and point a finger at myself. Even me. You're friends with these girls, aren't you? Well, yes, but then you can join them. The wolf girl too. I can't risk letting you ruin my business with your salubrious practices. But I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't kissing or performing CPR or anything. That's right, Esther did no wrong. She's good girl, nice and kind. Punish Todd and fell, but not punish Esther. She's no deserve. I'll be the one who decides what you deserve, you pipsqueak. How dare you talk back to your elders like that? Well, you aren't her elder. She's a wolf girl. You claim that you're innocent, but how am I to know? The four of you could have been planning to indulge in wild affair the moment my back is turned. Affair? With Tart? Rune pulls her face. No one to touch her. Makes me sick. And look at your girls, it's making me feel sick. Now get up before I contents of my son evacuate my body. Because vacate. Okay. My body. Also hearing that we have no choice but to leave. We've been making enemies left and right lately. Today really has been a disaster. I suppose going to the hot springs didn't help after all. What a shame. I only wanted to bring Rune and Tart closer. Felicia frowns, protrude folds her arms across her chest. The two of us are sitting in a local tavern. It's late at night. The sky beyond the windows is dark. A few stars twinkle here and there. In the heavens, half obscured by wispy clouds that roll lazily by. A handful of patrons are sitting around other tables, singing folk ditties and cling tankards. Their faces are illuminated by the warm amber light that flickers about their walls. The atmosphere is a light, relaxing one. But I'm in no mood to partake in these humble festivities, and neither is Felicia. Felicia ordered the pair of us drinks when we arrived, but she yet to take a sip of her beer. For her, it's unusual behavior. I've been to this tavern a handful of times in the past, and Felicia always been a big drinker. It must have been a serious pickle if not even Felicia can put on a happy face. I wonder what is to be done. I had hoped Rune and Tart would bond simply by spending time together, but that simply is not the case. If anything, they seem to dislike one another even more than they did before. It's quite a predicament, yes. If they keep bickering or teamwork, we will fall apart. When they argue, they give enemies chances to attack. We might end up in real danger if this keeps happening. I don't want to fail any of the quests we take on. Not when I'm getting even ever closer to achieving my dream. I just want to become a celebrate knight like my mother. I thought gathering together a party would be a good way to go about doing that, but I never considered my own teammates might turn against each other. Forget monsters right now. Rune and Tart might be the biggest threat to my humble dreams. I do not wish to fail any of our quests either. We have come a long way, and it would be a shame for all we have worked for to fall apart. Saying that, I do not want to remove Rune or Tart from our party. They have become quite dear to me, and I'm fond of them both, though it is depressingly apparent they aren't at all fond of one another. What do you think, Estelle? I think you're right. I won't want to kick either of them out of the party either. I'm a shy, awkward person by nature, but I managed to open up to both Rune and Tart during my adventures. When the first friends have ever had, other than Felicia, they cheer me up when my spirits are low, and they are always there for me. I'm particularly fond of Rune. I don't like Tart because she stole from me. I wouldn't have fallen for that if anyone was watching when she actually tricked us. My commentary was apparent that I would have not fallen for it. Rune. I thought Rune's conversational skills leaves much to be desired. She's doing her best to communicate in language she doesn't fully grasp. She's eager to learn about human culture, and she's incredibly affectionate, surprisingly so. Her hugs are strong enough to almost bowl me over, and the way she nuzzles her cheek against my chest is simply adorable. She earnest and hardworking, and she gave me a lot of so she could travel with our party. I couldn't bear to say goodbye to her. I care about her too much. How you feel. I know how you feel. Felicia couldn't possibly have been privy to my internal thought. Elves are meant to adapt at magic, but I don't think they can read minds. But she smiles at me nonetheless, though she understands. I guess my concerns have been written across my countenance, as bright and obvious the fireflies that flit in the night sky. I've never been very good at hiding my true emotions, particularly from Felicia. She might seem like an airhead, but she's surprisingly good at reading the mood when she wants. I'm partial to both Rune and Tart. It would be a shame if we had to bid farewell to one in the order to placate the other. Though that would make things easier to manage in the short term, I think our morale would be the negative impact by such a hasty decision. If we are to be true adventurers, we need to deal with this in an appropriate manner. We cannot give up in the first sign of weakness. This is a challenge, yes, but I believe we can overcome it. We just need to work together. I see. I was feeling helplessly lost about the whole Tartarune situation, but Felicia looks pretty pumped. Her face is shiny as it always does when she hit upon a good idea, and her grin is so wide I can see her pearly white teeth. Surely she wouldn't be smiling like that if she didn't have a foolproof plan up her sleeve. Not that Felicia's outfit has any sleeves. I often wonder that practicality of Felicia's clothes, especially given all the fighting we do. But I can hardly talk. I wear just about as little as she does, because most of her mother's armor didn't fit. So what do you propose we do? You are the team leader. I'm more than willing to listen. Please, Felicia, give me your worldly wisdom. What about that? I think we just need to take one more quest at the local guild and spend even more time together. Then Rune and Tog will be forced to put their difference behind them. They will have to have no other choice. We will make them work together around the clock until they are so exhausted they simply do not have an energy to engage in their silly arguments. We will break their rebellious spirit through hard physical labor. It's a perfect idea. What do you think, Estelle? I'm not sure about that. Is that all Felicia could come up with, really? Granted, I have thought about better way to repair Rune and Tar's relationship, but this doesn't seem like the most sensible plan. We've taken lots of quests together already, but that hasn't made Rune and Tar like one another more. You yourself said I was quite the opposite. I'm afraid if we make them spend more time together, things will get even worse. No. You are being naive, my dear Estelle. I am. Yes, indeed you are. If my plan does not work, and then I am prepared to break Rune and Tar's spirit with my love instead. I will show them in no uncertain terms that they're being immature. I will punish every single inch of their bodies, with their cute bellies to their bare toes to their soft squishy cheeks. I use every single tool at my disposal, and I shall make them beg for mercy. Felicia beams brightly, narrow, a shadow crossing her perfect face. And then after they have been truly crushed beneath the burden of my love, They will learn to depend on one another as true party members should. Throughout shared suffering and hardship, they shall put their difference behind them, and a new era of peace shall be assured forth. Thunder descends upon the tavern following this proclamation. I look at Felicia flatly, my lips pursed. I'm really not sure about this plan of hers, if it can even be called a plan. Felicia sounds awfully confident, but I have to wonder what all this confidence is based on. It can't be reality. Why did I even think I could trust Alicia anyway? This is nothing more than a catastrophe in the making. I hope things will work out alright. But with every passing second, my hopes dwindle further and further. There's nothing like a nice long walk to clear the mind. Would you not agree, my dear Estelle? Oh yes, I suppose so. After draining our tankers at Bay, Felicia suggested that part of us go for a walk. I feel so restless sitting in the tavern for so long. I need to stretch my legs. Would you care to join me, Estelle? I thought about refusing, but I was too tired to do even that. In any event, there would have been no point. Felicia isn't the sort of person you can disagree with. She's incredibly pushy, and she seems to think her suggestions are infallible. If she set her mind to one particular path, it's impossible to sway her. Not wanting to expend any further energy to that was strictly necessary, I relented, and so I accompanied her into the forest. It's a dark night, and the trees look oddly sinister. They're both spread out like gnawed fingers, and the leaves whisper among themselves in the wind. A few fireflies flicker in the breeze, but they do little to alleviate the haunting darkness. In the distance, I can hear the faint humming of insects. Cicadas, kitcats, maybe? It's hard to tell. I feel tense on the edge, my body attuned on every slight sound. It's possible there could be any number of monsters lurking, just waiting to jump out at us. But Felicia's presence allays some of my concerns. She brought her sword with her, so even if we were set upon by monsters, we should be fine. Felicia might be a total ditz, but she is reliable when it comes to combat. I know she'd never let a monster hurt her. For all her faults and flaws, she become very special to me. And I can tell simply by glancing into her eyes just how much she cares for me. If she did, she would have suggested going back for a walk. Please here. I look at the scrubby ground, though it's cold, and I can feel my cheeks turning pink. You came here for my sake, didn't you? Not particularly. I just wanted to go for a walk. That's what you said before, but I don't think that this was one of your whims. I myself, Felicia, our eyes meet. My ponytail rocked in all the while by the breeze. You were worried about me, weren't you? I think you were trying to cheer me up to take my mind off things. Well, Felicia scratched her cheeks with her fingers. That might have been my plan, yes, but I could not say that aloud. I fear that would make you feel like a burden if you knew how much I worry about you. No, I opened my mouth ready to retort, but the truth behind Felicia's word makes me pause. I press my lips together, my teeth clanging. She's right. If Felicia spoken honestly about her concerns, I would have felt guilty to do now, as a matter of fact. You know me too well. Am I really that easy to read? Quite. Your face goes red so easily, and you make the most delightful of expressions. You really are a darling, Estelle. I'm not. Not really. I'm just a dummy. Dummy or no, you are my dear friend, or I could not stand back and do something while you were racked with doubts. I feared if left unchecked, you would worry yourself sick about Rune and Tort all night long. I thought it best to try and distract you, though it seems my plan has failed. We are talking about those two naughty girls again. Maybe that's unavoidable. They are all valued members of our party. As are you, Estelle. Is why you should not trouble yourself with this too much. Just leave everything to me. Felicia beams and makes a peace sign with her fingers. Big sister Felicia will take care of everything. Since when were you a big sister-like character? Since forever. I am a big sister, you know. I have 40 younger brothers and sisters. I was the one who had to keep them all in check, being the oldest. I'm well accustomed to the handling spats and debates. Given the sheer size of my family, whenever anything goes awry, you can rely on me. I will set things right, or my name is not Felicia Marabella Gento. I never thought I found one of Felicia's boastful spies so reassuring, but as my rises my lips regardless. Before I know it, I'm starting to laugh. Soon the pair of us are giggling like foolish children. We might be in the forest, surrounded by crooked trees and rustling undergrowth, but at this moment I feel at ease. It's all thanks to Felicia. I never thought of that. I guess you really are a big sister, huh? That I am. Flatter myself, I'm very proficient at it too. None have mastered the art of big sister as me. Then I'll leave Rune and Tara to you. I'm sorry for doubting you. Please let them make up. I'm counting on you. Yes, indeed. I will do everything in my power to share every member of our party, not just as a big sister, but as a future queen of grace. When I return to my homeland, I will ascend there to the throne. From then on, I will be my duty to keep the peace among my people. I would be a poor queen indeed if I could not quell the Rune and Tart's animosity. I will look upon this as another step on my journey to see my parents. Ho ho ho! Felicia's loud, piercing laugh echoes through the forest. A few birds perched in the nearby trees squawk in response, and the undergrowth shifts as the fluffy rabbit starts for cover. Under normal circumstances, I scold Felicia for laughing so brazenly at such an advanced hour. But her talk has cheered me up, and I can't bring myself to be angry with her. She's being reckless, yes, but she should. But that sword she did at her hip isn't for decorations. If any monster should attack her, lured by Felicia's laugh, they will soon be cut asunder. Everything will be fine. That's what I would like to believe, but yeah. A loud scream sends the air at twain. It's high pitch and it sounds like a woman's scream, though I'm not sure if I recognize the voice. I don't know who cried out, but the one thing is abundantly clear. Somebody's in trouble. Yes, indeed. Felicia reaches for the hilt of her sword. She draws it free from its scabbard, the steel edge glittering in the moonlight, and turns. A fair maiden needs our help. I cannot stand idle while she is being attacked. Let us depart, Estelle, without delay. I shall dispatch the brigand which is causing her strife in one fell blow, and so doing rescue her. Right. I'm not sure if I can do all that much to help. I, unlike Felicia, don't make a habit of carrying my sword everywhere. I'm afraid I might get stolen again, but at least I can act as her cheerleader. I doubt Felicia really needs my support, but I don't want to be rushing off on her own. Although, to be quite honest, it's probably more accurate to say that I don't want to be the one on my own. Also, sorts of strange creatures lurk the woods at night. I don't want to fall afoul of them. Let's go. Huh. Okay, before we end this, she has a tail. It looks like a dragon tail. So I would guess that's a dragon girl then. And so that was all I have for Sakura Night 2 this time. I say like and see you next time. Bye.